Welcome back to 405 Sports. Today we are going to be talking about UFC 285. Little recap here. What a card. I mean, I predicted this to be the card of the year. International Fight Week might be better, but obviously that's way down the line. I think that's July or something at the end of the year might compete. But this at the moment is looking like card of the year easily. It was a great card. I mean, what can I say? Like, it was amazing. It was amazing. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Jon Bones Jones. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. I have nothing else to say, but that man is the GOAT of this sport. He's the greatest of all time. And if I had to rank them, it's John, it's GSP, it's Anderson Silva, Demetrius Johnson. I don't know who the last guy is, but I know those guys are in there. And Demetrius, I would love for him to come back to the UFC. But that's besides the point. Jon Jones, first round. And like I said, if you had that slip of plus Jon Jones, as he was a plus, free money. I mean, free money for every slip, right? But if you had him as a plus, I mean, you had to win a lot of money. Drake won a lot of money. This man was against all odds. If you know anything about the UFC, he had the Drake curse. He had the haircut curse. If you don't know, they did these little week-long embeddeds, and the fighters will be like getting a haircut staring it. And I know Justin Gaethje's fallen to it. I think Usman's fallen to it. A lot of other people have fallen to the haircut curse. John had a haircut, didn't matter. On embedded, didn't matter. There was another curse. There's a picture of Anderson Silva, Jon Jones, Chris Weidman, and Conor. And as you know, those three all have broken their legs. And Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva have broken them legitimately where their limb was just hanging. And then Conor, did what he did at 264. And then everyone was like, oh no, the photo has to be complete and John's going to do something. But he has just broken that curse. And he looked good out there, man. And he did say his striking, he didn't know how to feel about it. He felt weird, but didn't matter. I mean, he just took Ciryl Gane right to the ground and did what Francis couldn't do. Francis, I don't care what you have to say on Twitter. I don't care. I really don't. Thanks for, what do you say? Congrats. Like, thanks for coming to my division. I don't know. You're not the king of the division. You took 25 minutes to beat Ciryl Gane. As much as you impressed me in that win, you didn't do anything. John submitted him. He was trying to submit him. He was trying to get out of there. You just laid on him because you're 270 pounds probably after. I don't know. I don't know how much he gains back, but whatever. You know what? Jon Jones, I'm so happy for this man. It was a long time. A lot of people didn't know how to feel about him coming back. A lot of people didn't know, should they take the decision? Should they take the under on time? And it was weird because it was like, well, he's moving up. Is his cardio going to be the same with that weight on him? Is Ciryl Gane going to be able to take him or stop the takedowns, unlike he did against Francis? And all these answers were, or all these questions were answered by Jon Jones. Now the cardio we still don't know, but I wouldn't doubt it. I think this man is elite at all levels still. Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso. So happy for Grasso. She deserved it. But and obviously, what do I know? I'm just talking, and I'm a guy, and there's no disrespect here. But there's something about a UFC fighter or an MMA fighter when you turn your back like that and give it up. It reminds me of Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold, and he gave his back up, and it just doesn't seem to work in those later rounds. You're tired, and you're not throwing it as quick as you want in that fourth round. And I think Valentina will be back. I think Valentina will beat her. This is good for the division. We have Erin Blanchfield. We have Marwan Farrat and Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko. So we've got a lot of girls up there that are very good. So this is good for the division, but at the same time, it is kind of stall it because you are going to have to give Valentina the immediate rematch. But that just means you have to do the number one contenders fight between Blanchfield and Farrat. Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. What a fight. These guys, their chins were getting tested. Their chins were getting tested. So it was a really, really, really good fight. Shavkat proved it gave off Gilbert Burns versus Hamzat at UFC 273 vibes. That's what it just gave off. Shavkat Rakhmonov is human, right? Like, we can realize that now, Neil Magny didn't test him, Jeff Neal tested him, and he had him rocked a couple times. And even though when he was rocked, it really wasn't like he was rocked. It was just kind of like, he was hurt, but I don't know. The guy is just, like I said in the last video, he's good. He's just good everywhere, everywhere you take him. His striking is not as good as I thought, maybe. I don't know. We didn't see much of his ground game. It was really just striking. But his clinch is still very good. He's very good at gaining and able to work the clinch. So, but his striking is not as good as I thought it was. But still, this guy is amazing everywhere. He keeps his finish streak. Now he has 17 wins by finish, and he's 17-0. Shout out Shavkat Rakhmonov. I don't know what you do with him next. It's tough. The welterweight division is weird. I don't know. Mateusz Gamrot, Jalen Turner. Like I said, if this fight was going under 1.5 rounds, it was going to go to Jalen Turner. But if it went to decision, it was going to be Mateusz Gamrot. And that's what I said in the last video, and that's why I was 50-50 on this fight. I didn't really know how to feel. I was like, man, it's confusing because Mateusz Gamrot didn't look as good in his last fight, but Jalen Turner's just been on a tear in the lightweight division. And he's so hard to get at because the guy is 6'3", And what's weird about Jalen Turner is he's not a heavy set welterweight, but he's a lightweight. So I don't know. It's I feel like he's one of those guys, man, where he would thrive in like a 165 division. It'd be enough to get off the weight and be big enough at 165. I don't know. I just wish there was a 160 or 165 division where guys could go to, because I feel like that division would be stacked. But shout out Mateusz Gamrot. He shows his grappling is just insane. For Jalen Turner, it's just I wouldn't be mad. Obviously, you weren't training for this guy. You were training for Dan Hooker. You only trained for this guy for a couple weeks. So there's nothing to put your head down about. What do I have to say about this? Bo Nickel. Now, this is going to be looked at because they are saying that Bo Nickel threw a low blow to achieve the takedown, which led to the finish. Which I don't know if that's going through or what. I really don't know if that's what's happening. But I kind of did think it was a low blow when they replayed it, and I don't think Bo did it intentionally. I don't think he's dirty. I don't think he's a cheater. But I do kind of think that there was a low blow there. But the guy's good. Bo Nickel is very good. I'm going through this fight quick because it literally lasted like 45 minutes. It felt like, because let's see here. 30. I honestly, if you'd have told me. Okay, they had. If you'd have told me there was 33, or I guess if you'd have told me there were 63 strikes landed, I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have. There's no way. Is that 26 significant strikes to 20. There's no way that he tried 69 times. And wow. I mean, the fight was just not good. I'm sorry. And don't get me wrong. I'm not dogging on these guys. I will never dog a UFC fighter for the way he's going to fight in the octagon. You are in the octagon. You deserve a lot, because that is not easy to do. I'm not dogging on him. I'm just saying the fight was just not there. But I think Cody just kind of wanted to test himself, I don't think he was going for the knockout. I don't think he was going for the finish. I think he was more of just being like, I want to test myself. I want to go the 15 minutes, really see how I hold up, So, yeah. Derek Brunson versus Dracus du Plessis. Cardio. I mean, it's a thing. And these guys don't have it. They don't have it. These men were gassed in the first round. Derek Brunson, I don't know how he was 5 in the middleweight division. I really don't. His win was over, Edmund Shabazzian and and Darren Till. Like, I don't think he was deserving of the 5 spot. He also lost to Cannonier, and then he pulled out of the Hermanson fight. And I thought he was going to retire. I don't know if that happened or not. But at the same time, the dude is a wrestler with no gas tank. None at all. Dricus du Plessis, no gas tank, dude. None at all. I couldn't get over it. I mean, my buddies and I are sitting there like, is this fight in slow motion? Because it literally just felt like at the end, like they were just throwing, but it wasn't going fast. So for me, I'm still not very impressed with Dricus du Plessis. I'm impressed with them, but at the same time, I just don't think he's beating a Marvin Vettori. I don't think he's beating a Robert Whittaker. I don't think he beats Roman Delatse, you know? I don't think he's beating these guys. So, I don't know. There's much to see. He's got a lot of time. He's young. Prove me wrong. I hope you do. Amanda Hebus. Shout out to her. She looked good. She was really good. I mean, she won like 30-26 and 30-27. I mean, shout out. She performed amazing, you know, and she was like, either give me a top 5 flyweight fight or give me Carla Esparza at 115, and I love that. I love how in the women's divisions, like, they fluctuate their weights. You know, you got Andrade, you got Hebus. That would actually be a cool fight. Jessica Andrade and Hebus, because I feel like those two are like the BMFs of women's fighting. Ian Gary was tested. Now, was the second and third round tested? Absolutely not. But that first round, he was tested. And I don't know what the judges scored the first round, because obviously he was winning the first 4 minutes. He lost the last minute, but they probably gave it to Song just because of the knockdown. But he was tested, but then he wasn't really ever tested again in the second and third round, and then he got the finish. So, I don't know. I'm also not heavily impressed with Ian Gary yet, but we'll see. He trains with very good guys, so we'll see. But don't know how to feel about Ian Gary right now. We have the other South African on the card, Cameron Simon versus Manny Martinez. Cameron is one of the most unluckiest fighters. He's one of the nicest guys on the roster. They all say that. And he has had his second UFC fight. Remember, he's had 2 UFC fights, and both fights have had point deductions to Cameron. So he's gotten unlucky, but it was a good fight. These guys showed, man, like it was war. It really was. It was a war. And they showed they had chins. Striking was great from both sides. Martinez is another guy that was with James Krause, but he went back to Houston. I mentioned this in the last video, training with Adrian Yanez, so he's training with a good boxer. I don't know how to feel about this fight. Cameron Simon, very impressive for the bantamweight division. Bantamweight division is tough. It is very, very tough. That's all I know. Tabitha Ritchie, very, very impressive. I'm not going to lie. I didn't realize Jessica Pena was 40 going into the fight, but very impressed with Tabitha Baby Shark Ritchie. She was very impressive out there. Takedowns, everything. She just dominated the fight. And then the way to get over. I mean, to get over and to get the arm like that, perfect. UFC 285 was an amazing card. We are in the month of March, and this month of March is full of stacked cards. We have Peter Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili. We've got Chito Vera versus Corey Sandhagen. We got Usman Edwards 3, Gaethje Fiziev. There's a whole bunch of fights that everyone should be watching. This month of March is electric for fights. So, 285 was a great card. I can't wait for Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. That's going to be the next fight, probably in July for International Fight Week. Valentina, she'll be back. What a card. This was Sam for 405 Sports. Thank you for watching.